Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Gen Ravi Shankar is joining us today. We take a look at Balochistan, a country probably that is going to declare itself as an independent nation, but there's always this but that lingers around some country for nations. We're going to take a look at it. What does it take to form a country? And does Balochistan meet those demands? And this is going to be our topic. It's slightly different than saying that this happened. We're taking a little bit of a leap into the future, if you will, trying to look at how the future holds for our beloved Baloch brothers and sisters. Let's welcome Gen Ravi Shankar. Gen Ravi Shankar, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Namaskar and thanks a lot, Sree Iyer ji, for inviting me over once again. Of course, it's a joint podcast. All those people who are joining us from Ghana Short also welcome. Balochistan is on the boil.
And yes, indeed. And General Ravi Shankar, you and I talked about this, I think, a little bit yesterday when we were discussing or nailing down the topic. He said that much of the activity that is happening now in Quetta or in and around Quetta is perhaps not just Balochistan or the BRAS alliance, but it probably is getting help from other actors who are also based in Pakistan. So given that there is all these things happening, that gives us a hint essentially for the existence of the Balochistan as a separate nation. It gives us a hint. So that's what I'm hoping that our viewers will pick up. I'll let you. You have a slide deck also. Over to you, sir.
At the outset, I must tell you that at this point of time, there are a lot of problems in Balochistan. Balochistan is a place where Pakistan doesn't exist. I'm making this statement. Okay, Pakistan doesn't exist at this point of time. Also, a lot of things happening. The easiest way to say is, look, Balochistan doesn't have population, so it can't become a state. That's being the fundamental thing. To a large extent, it's true, but you never know how nations are made and not made. We'll get that to the end, but you should know what's happening. What are the intricacies of the story called Balochistan? That's why I asked, Sree Iyer ji in the morning, have you done a show on Balochistan in serious? No, we did a show when the Jafar Express, the firing took place and all that. So I said, okay, then I'll take time and put in a presentation where you understand what is happening. So I'll just come in between. I'm going to let Baloch people speak to you. I'm not going to talk much. I'll put the things together, but I'll get the Balochis to speak to you, what it is, what are the personalities there, everything. And then you'll understand what I'm talking of. And then we'll see in the end, is the nation being made or unmade? Right? Because if Balochistan is made, Pakistan is unmade. That's the fundamental thing you have to remember in this whole story. Okay. So with this, I also welcome all Baloch brothers of mine who have been with me. My special, thanks to Bahut Baloch, whom I interviewed. And, we'll come along with it. So let's start with the presentation, right? And you'll understand what it is. See, at this point of time, Pakistan is on the ropes. As Balochistan boils and China has entered the fray. So at the macro level, there are three actors in this game. We'll discuss all three as we go along. The first thing, and this is a favorite thing which I've made this quotation for myself, and I keep saying every day. Balochistan can survive without Pakistan. Can Pakistan survive without Balochistan is the question at hand. If you seriously see, it can't. Okay? For many reasons. Right. The second important thing, this is something you have to understand. This is an underlying factor which will drive Balochistan to its independence if at all it achieves. There is no home in Balochistan which has not lost a member to the Pakistan Army or the state. Just take the slide off. I think we should first understand this sentiment. I was listening to someone 2 days back. So that man says, बलूचिस्तान में हर एक घर से कोई ना कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो मिसिंग है, लापता है. Enforced disappearances, lifted ये वो. To the extent people don't know whether a brother or a husband or a son or a father is coming back. They don't have a clue. They just keep waiting. Every house in Balochistan, this is the thing. And what's interesting is every time a body is recovered from wherever and brought to a civil hospital or morgue, that's what it happens, isn't it? A dead body is recovered. People go and form a line out there. कतार लगता है उस लाश को पहचानने के लिए ये है कौन, कहीं मेरा भाई तो नहीं है, कहीं मेरा बेटा तो नहीं है, कोई मेरा चाचा तो नहीं है, या मेरा शोहर तो नहीं है. I hope you understood. That is the state of desperation in people. And you'll see as I go along, the Balochistan movement, the human rights movement, is led by ladies. They are the leaders. Now, when a woman comes out of the home and gets onto the street, then, well, you know what will happen, right? Okay, let's get the presentation back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what it is. Now, just to give a broad understanding, Balochistan is an unnatural state because of the reason that at independence, this green part called Kalat, Lasbela, Makaran, and Karkan. These Karan. They're all not part of Pakistan. They all acceded to Pakistan at some point of time. Kalat was the last. It had independence for exactly 226 days. On the 227th day, Jinnah and his army entered and took over Balochistan. The next thing is Gwadar. Gwadar is here, okay, and Makaran. Gwadar and Makaran were part of Oman. They were not part of Pakistan till about 1950s, mid-50s. When they were sold, or rather Oman was forced to sell it to Pakistan at a nominal rate, thanks to those shopkeepers of the world, Brits. And then this was all given so that Pakistan could have a state. So this was never part of Pakistan. Okay, and ever since then, Pakistan has gone through cycles of movements where they've Balochistan has gone through cycles of movements where they've wanted independence. But I'll not go into that history. That's for a different day. It's rich in minerals is an understatement. If you look at this entire thing, it gives you a clear idea. There's gold, there's copper, there's everything. And add to that is the fact that Gwadar is a major port. We'll talk of Gwadar much later. Okay, it's a deep sea port and it's being developed with Chinese help. And Gwadar is the flagship of the CPEC. Okay, next. Balochistan occupies 44% of Pakistan, but only 7% of the population. What is 7% of 250 million? You can count for it's not even 7%, it's actually 6.8%. It's the most neglected and poverty-ridden state. Politically insignificant, it has only 20 seats out of the 266 seats in their assembly, MNA, Pakistan National Assembly. Enforced disappearances have been legion for the past 70 years. Not now, 70 years. So there's an inbuilt anger here. So far that anger didn't manifest itself, but now it is. So far this area was tribal in nature. And the tribal sardars controlled various areas, Marris, Bugtis, Mengals. You would have heard these are there were 23 odd sardars who control that entire area. So if you bought the sardars away, you could do everything. And that's what the Pakistanis did earlier. Now the thing has changed because the boys are educated, smart. They say to hell with this Sardar business. I'm educated. I'm an engineer. I'll do what I want. I'll do it for the sake of Baloch people. And there's also a feeling that, look, if I don't do what I don't take the gun, I'll anyway get killed by the Pakistan Army. So I might as well die fighting for my independence. That's the motive. Okay. Now the exploitation of resources by China and Pakistan is deeply resented by the Baloch people. And like I said, today there's a fifth wave of insurgency on. Okay. Now, this is Mahrang Baloch. Mahrang Baloch is a doctor by profession. And her father was one of those people who've been polished off by the Pakistan Army. And ever since she's a young girl, she's been fighting for the rights of the Baloch people. Oh, how? And she's been nominated for the Nobel Prize, incidentally. So what I'll do is, I'll play this thing and hear it. Hear the anger in her voice, one. And two, the issues she's bringing up. I told you, no, I want you people to understand, whoever is seeing, to understand Balochistan from the people of Balochistan. Okay? So here we go.
Sir, hold on. Please stop. Before we start this video, a small request to all of you who are watching this video, whether it is Gunnershot or PGurus, to please like this video. This needs to go far, and this is a very important part of this presentation. I would really appreciate it if all of you like this video. Can you back it up and then start from the beginning, please?
Yeah, we do. No problem.
Yeah.
वहां पर आपके इतने बड़े बड़े जो आप ये माइक्स और कैमरे उठा के लाते हो ना, वहां पे कोई नहीं आता है, ठीक है ना। बलूचिस्तान के दूर दराज इलाकों में जब आपकी एफसी जो है ना औरतों को मारती है, जब आपकी एफसी ने ओशाब में 2 बच्चों पर गोला बारूद फेंके ना, वो न्यूज आप लोगों ने कभी नहीं दी। आप लोगों में से किसी भी मीडिया चैनल को मैं चैलेंज करती हूँ कि वो आए बलूचिस्तान में। आप लोगों में से कौन है जिसने तुर्बत देखा है, जिसने ओशाब देखा है, जिसने आवारान देखा है? आवारान में एंट्री आपको नहीं मिलेगी, आवारान में आपको वीजा लगा के जाना पड़ेगा। ये है वो बलूचिस्तान जिसको आप लोगों ने देखा नहीं है, जिसको आप लोगों ने सिर्फ और सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप के कॉपी पेस्ट बयानिए से जाकर जो है ना मैच किया हुआ है। उस बलूचिस्तान को देखने की आप में जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आप देखेंगे तो मुझे यकीन है, अगर आपके अंदर इंसानियत है तो आपकी आंखें शर्म से डूब मरनी चाहिए। शर्म करें आप लोग कि आप लोगों ने एक कौम को 70 सालों से खून रेजी की है, 70 सालों से उसकी औरतों को नहीं बख्शा है, उसके मर्दों को नहीं बख्शा है। ये है वो आपकी रियासत की हकीकत। आप हमसे मजम्मत करवा कर अपने रियासती जब्र को नहीं छुपा सकते। आप हमसे मजम्मत करवा कर सबसे पहले याया खान से जाकर मजम्मत करवाए, सबसे पहले अपने सबसे बड़े हीरो जो मुशर्रफ है ना, उससे जाकर मजम्मत करवाए कि उसने जो है ना एक 80 साल बुजुर्ग बुक्ति पर भी गोला बारूद मांगे, उसको भी मारा, ठीक है ना। चाहे अपनी रियासत की मशीनरी से जो है ना मजम्मत करवाए कि उन्होंने बलोचों की नस्ल कुशी क्यों की, वो आज भी नस्ल कुशी क्यों कर रहे हैं। ये आपकी रियासत की हकीकत है।
So you see the pain in her voice and
yes,
the issue brought up, okay, which is very severe. Okay, now let's go to the next picture, this thing. Get the slide back.
Yeah,
okay?
Just 1 second, sir. Just one second.
Please, sorry. I'll get it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Bring up the next one, please. Because I'm not able to. Yeah.
No, I'll control. Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
That's what she said. You can't go anywhere in Balochistan. In a place like Awaran, if you go, you have to get a passport from Baloch people. And all those things. For the past 80 years, the killings, all that. What is the status today? This is Maulana Fazlur Rahman. He's not a joker. He's a very important figure in Pakistan politics. Okay? And this is a statement he has made on the floor of the Pakistan National Assembly. And listen to what he says. Okay? And very important to understand what he says.
जनाब स्पीकर, मेरे इलाके में ऐसे एरियाज हैं जिसको फौज ने भी खाली कर दिया है, पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी। बता दूं आपको, ऐवान को बताना चाहता हूं, वो इलाके कि जो पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी लेकिन फौज भी खाली कर चुकी है।
फौज भी खाली कर चुकी है।
जंग हो और पुलिस भी ना हो, اور فوج بھی نہ ہو تو وہ ایریا کس کے قبضے میں ہوگا اور وہاں کس کا ریٹ ہوگا؟ اور دل پہ ہاتھ رکھ کر مجھے کہنا پڑتا ہے، انتہائی درد دل کے ساتھ کہنا پڑتا ہے کہ اس وقت بلوچستان کے 5 سے 7 اضلاع اس پوزیشن میں ہیں کہ اگر وہ آزادی کا اعلان کر دیں تو اگلے دن اقوام متحدہ میں ان کی درخواست کو قبول۔ کہاں کھڑے ہیں ہم لوگ؟ میری گفتگو کو جذباتی گفتگو نہ سمجھا جائے، میں جذباتی باتیں نہیں کیا کرتا، لیکن حقائق تک پہنچنے کے لیے پارلیمنٹ کو بھی پہنچنا ہوگا اور حکومت کو بھی پہنچنا ہوگا۔
وہاں پر آپ کے اتنے بڑے بڑے جو آپ یہ
Okay, right. You know, so that's the status. What Maulana Diesel, he is known as Maulana Diesel because he used to smuggle diesel across the Iran border. But he's a very shrewd player. He says there are places where there's no law. I mean, when I say there's no law, the Pakistani state doesn't have an existence there. And this statement was made about a couple of months back. The situation was that 5 to 6 province or tehsils or whatever you call, districts of Balochistan could have declared independence, and they could do nothing about it. Now the situation has gone worse. Okay. Now we all know the Jafar Attack Express. Okay. But before this Jafar Attack Express, there was a series of incidents by the BLA and all that. What is that? I'll just come. So this Jafar Attack incident is the one which has triggered the situation to what it is today. What happened? Jafar Attack, the army couldn't react. 2 days later, there was an attack at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But before this, there were many cases when the Baloch Liberation Army carried out very sophisticated attacks on Pakistan Army posts. Right? So from the Jafar attack and all that, what happened next? Right. Now, this is a person called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 put out in his tweet that look, Baloch Sarmachars are carrying out attacks all around and all that, but that I'll come to later. I got in touch with him and I had a long interview with him, about 22 minutes. If you go to Ghana Shot, you can see those interviews. Put Balochistan and you'll see those interviews completely. Okay. But I've extracted just about 5 minutes of that interview. Have a look at it because it's important to understand how the Baloch have looked at it. And this man is a reporter. He covers the conflict in total. Yeah.
بلوچستان میں گزشتہ 6 روز سے بڑے پیمانے پر صرف مظاہرے ہو رہے ہیں. یہاں پر پولیس کی جانب سے فائرنگ ہو رہی ہے، لوگ زخمی ہو رہے ہیں، گرفتاریاں ہو رہی ہیں. اتنی تعداد میں گرفتاریاں ہیں کہ ان کی پوری ڈیٹیلز ابھی تک نہیں مل رہی ہے کہ کہاں سے کتنے لوگوں کو اٹھایا جا رہا ہے. بہت کم لوگوں کی ابھی تک تفصیلات آ چکی ہیں. پھر بلوچ یکجہتی کمیٹی کی جو لیڈ کرنے والی ہے ڈاکٹر مارنگ ہے، گزشتہ روز سمیتی کو بھی انہوں نے کراچی سے گرفتار کی. اسی پہ تجزیے کر رہے تھے. لوگ ہمیں پوچھ رہے تھے ایز اے جرنلسٹ کہ آپ کیسے دیکھتے ہیں. دیکھیے ہم تو یہ کہہ رہے تھے کہ یہاں پر بڑے پیمانے پر آپریشن وغیرہ اس طرح کی تیاری شاید کرے گی، لیکن بلوچستان میں تو آپریشن پچھلے 70 سالوں سے ہو رہے ہیں، مختلف شکلوں سے ہو رہے ہیں. لیکن اس کا انہوں نے معنی یہی نکالا کہ ہم بلوچ خواتین ہیں جو کہ ایکٹیوسٹ ہے، خاص کر ان پر جو ان کو بند کریں گی، تشدد کریں گی، سڑکوں پر گھسیٹیں گی. تو اس سے بالکل عام بندے سے ابھی آپ پوچھیے وہ یہی کہے گا کہ پاکستان فوج نے وہاں پر مار کھائی، اسی وجہ سے اپنا غصہ ہے، اپنا فرسٹریشن ہے وہ عام خواتین بچوں پر نکال رہے ہیں جو صرف اپنے رائٹس کی بات کرتے ہیں. تو بیسکلی بلوچ یکجہتی کمیٹی کا یہی ڈیمانڈز ہے کہ لوگوں کو اٹھانا بند کرو، ان کی مسخ شدہ لاشیں پھینکنا بند کرو، لوگوں کو ویرانوں میں یا کہ بغیر کسی شناخت کے ان کی دفن کرنا بند کرے. یہی ان کی ڈیمانڈز رہے ہیں. تو بلوچستان میں پچھلے دنوں سے یہی کچھ ہے کہ کوئٹہ میں ان پہ کریک ڈاؤن کیا جاتا ہے، فائرنگ، آنسو گیس شیلنگ، لوگوں کو مارتے ہیں. کل بھی ایک نوجوان فائرنگ سے زخمی ہوا ہے. यानी जो फायरिंग से सिर्फ जख्मी हैं वो उनकी बहुत बड़ी तादाद है, बाकी तो आप छोड़े कि लाठी चार्ज वगैरह होती है। कल फिर वहाँ पर कराची में भी यही हुआ, दालबंदी में तुरबत में 2 नौजवान फायरिंग से जख्मी हुए, अब चौकी में यही मामला था। तो पहले तो इस बात पे आते हैं कि जो बलोच एहतियाती कमेटी है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर रहकर डिमांड्स उनकी, ये एक तरीके से उनके लोग कहते हैं कि बलोच पुरअमन जो है तरीके से हकूक नहीं मानते हैं, अपनी जो डिमांड्स नहीं रखते हैं। तो फिर खवातीन और बच्चे अक्सरियत में यही है, वो प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, उन पे गोलियां बरसाई जाती हैं। या हाँ, बलूचिस्तान में बहुत पहले से इस चीज को रद्द किया जा चुका है, रिजेक्ट किया जा चुका है कि बलूचिस्तान पाकिस्तान के फ्रेमवर्क में हकूक हासिल नहीं किए जा सकते हैं। नवाब मरी ने पहले ही डिक्लेयर कर दिया था कि बलूचिस्तान के अंदर पाकिस्तान के अंदर हमारे मसाइल हल नहीं हो सकते हैं कि हम पार्लियामेंट में जाए। वो जा चुके थे, जो
बहुत बात जा चुके हो।
हाँ, 70s के जो दाई में वो जा चुके हैं, उनकी हुकूमत थी, फिर किस तरह उनकी हुकूमत को खत्म किया गया, केसेस लगाए गए मुख्तलिफ तरीकों से। जो हमारे अकाबरीन थे, सरदार अताउल्लाह, नवाब खैर मरी जो दूसरे थे, उन सब को इन चीजों से गुजर चुके थे। बलूचिस्तान में यही कहा जाता है कि पार्लियामेंट में बिल्कुल हकूक हासिल नहीं की जा सकती है, सिर्फ वही लोग जाते हैं जो जिनके अलग मुफादात होते हैं। यहाँ पर इलेक्शंस भी नहीं होते हैं, यहाँ सिलेक्शन होती है। इस बार तो बिल्कुल अलग तरीके से सिलेक्शन हुई है बलूचिस्तान में, फॉर्म 45, 47 इस तरह का कुछ सिलेक्शन।
वो तो पूरा पाकिस्तान में ये प्रॉब्लम था कि
जी,
ये तो पूरा पाकिस्तान में ही सिलेक्शन हुआ है, एक सिर्फ बलूचिस्तान में ही, पूरा पाकिस्तान में ही सिलेक्शन हुआ है।
देखिए, बलूचिस्तान में जो हालात है आप देख चुके हैं कि जाफर एक्सप्रेस पर हमला होता है, नोश की, फिर पिछले साल बड़ी नौयत के मैं अमलों का कह रहा हूँ। अभी तो कलात का मैंने 2 अमलों का जिक्र किया, शायद किसी को मालूम भी ना हो कि वो इस तरह के हमले भी होते हैं कि उनके हथियारों पर कब्जा करते हैं, उनके कैंप्स पर कब्जा करते हैं। बलूचिस्तान में जो बड़े हमले हुए हैं सिर्फ गुज़िश्ता 2 सालों में या इस साल, तो बहुत सी तब्दीलियां देखने में आई हैं कि बलोच जो मिलिटेंट्स हैं उनकी स्ट्रेटजीज तब्दील हो चुकी हैं, उनके तरीक़ेकार तब्दील हो चुके हैं, उनके पॉलिसीज चेंज हो चुके हैं। पॉलिसीज यानी आज़ादी के हवाले से उन्होंने इसमें कुछ चीजें ऐड की हैं कि किस तरह में लेनी है। सब इसी जंग के असरात है कि लोग इतने बड़े पैमाने पर निकलते हैं, एहतिजाज वगैरह करते हैं। वो देखते हैं कि हम हमारे लोग रहे हैं, फिदाइन बन रहे हैं, BLA मजीद ब्रिगेड का हिस्सा बन रहे हैं, खवातीन ब्रिगेड का हिस्सा बन रहे हैं, तो फिर हम लाठियां कैसे नहीं खा सकते हैं। तो इसी वजह से जो शिफ्ट आई है पूरे बलोच तहरीक में जंग के हवाले से। बाकी डिपेंड, मैं बहुत सी जगहों पर मुझे पूछा जाता है, मैं यही कहता हूँ वो ये डिपेंड करता है बलोच की जो लीडरशिप है, वो BLA हो या कि दूसरे हो या कि पॉलिटिकल हवाले से जो मास पार्टीज है जो ग्राउंड पर पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, उन पे डिपेंड करता है कैसे ले जाते हैं इन चीजों को। पाकिस्तान के हवाले से पाकिस्तान दिवालिया हो चुका है, माशी हवाले से बिल्कुल तबाह हो चुकी है। ये सिर्फ कर्जों पे चल रही, ना सिर्फ आज बल्कि कई सालों से कर्जों पर चल रही है। चाइना के कर्जे आप देखिए, दूसरे ममालिक की देखिए, फिर कई पर इन पे खैरात के हवाले से दी जाती है कि मदद के नाम पर, तो सिर्फ गुजारा कर रहे हैं। बाकी बलूचिस्तान के जो कुछ है लूट रहे हैं, चाइना के पास जा रहे हैं, उनको बेनिफिट्स है कि मीन्स यहाँ पर शो कुछ और किया जाता है कि इतने वसाइल ले जाए गए हैं, लेकिन ले जाया जाता है बहुत ज्यादा। तो पाकिस्तान टूटने के बिल्कुल गगर पर है। अब अभी डिपेंड करता है जो इसको तोड़ना चाहते हैं या अलहदा होना चाहते हैं, उन पे डिपेंड करता है कि वो खुद को कितना मुनज़्ज़म करते हैं।
Right. So what does he say? He says पाकिस्तान टूटने के गगन पे है. Right. So Pakistan दिवालिया है and all those, and we'll come to that. There's nothing. Right. Now we have to understand this entire story of Balochistan, what is happening there. You know, there are 3 parts to this protest. So can we have the slide back, please? Yeah. See, there are 3 protests going on and movements going on in Balochistan. One is BLA, BLF or the BRAS, right? BRAS is the mother organization of all the militant or the armed rebels out there. Second is the BYC or the Baloch 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 committee, which is led by Mahrang Baloch. It's a human rights movement. Where the BLA asks for independence and secession from Pakistan, BYC wants its rights within the constitution of Pakistan. That's what everyone has said so far. They have not asked for independence. Then there's a third movement called 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏, which is only at 𝗥𝗥𝗙. It is protesting against the fact that there are too many Chinese out there and we need our things from 𝗥𝗥𝗙, because people along the 𝗥𝗥𝗙 coast are all fishermen. Their fishing rights are gone and they're not getting benefit of water development is happening in 𝗥𝗥𝗙. They are also within the constitutional thing. Now, the fact is that the Pakistan Army doesn't believe so. Now, what has happened is, after this Jafar Express and this attack and the 𝗏𝗏 attack, BLA has struck at the Pakistan Army. Pakistan Army cannot retaliate back because they have vanished into the hills. So, Pakistan Army has hit Baloch 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 committee, who they feel are part of BLA or the front face of BLA, which is not so. But by this action of Pakistan Army, they're closing this gap. They're pushing all these ladies towards BLA. Okay. Now, this was the status 3 days back. But now the things have changed. I'll come to that a little later. Okay. Now, what has happened is, Pakistan Army immediately, about 4 days back, they went and, there were 3 dead bodies were uncovered somewhere near Quetta. When those dead bodies were brought to the, morgue, all these ladies went and did sit-ins and dharna and all that. The moment that happened, they picked up Mahrang Baloch. And then 1 day later, they picked up 𝗤𝗎𝗓𝗏 Baloch. The one on the right is 𝗤𝗎𝗓𝗏 Baloch. Now, these 2 ladies are the spearheads of this movement. I mean, you just think, there's no male leader. The biggest leader is Mahrang Baloch, and Mahrang Baloch is in Quetta jail. And she's allowed to meet people, but she's in a bad shape, as reports her sister says in tweets. We don't know. But I can tell you one thing. If she doesn't come out alive of Quetta jail, you can be rest assured Balochistan will become a country. She is that kind of an icon. That's the status. Now, Pakistan Army is playing with fire, because if she's not well and she dies something and all, that's the end of that story. But then that's where it is. She's still in jail. And 𝗤𝗎𝗓𝗏 is somewhere in Karachi. She's being in and out. She got in, she was arrested, she took bail, came out, she was arrested. The normal thing, how it goes on. But these ladies, it's a ladies' movement. That's the interesting part. Look at this. On the street. So you just see the girls, the children, and they're all taking that photograph of Mahrang Baloch and saying, "Free her." And I can get you today, if you go on X or you go on to any social media site, you will get hundreds of such films where ladies are protesting all over Balochistan. And they're also protesting for enforced. So, like I said, this is a movement being spearheaded by ladies in villages and everywhere in Balochistan. Okay, now where does this go next? Yesterday, today's 28th, yesterday, Sree Iyer ji, when he and I decided that we should do this, there were only 17 attacks. Actually, yesterday they've carried out 48 attacks. And this is the statement which the BRAS has put out. Baloch Rajoy Aral Committee, Samiti. Okay? They've claimed responsibility for, see that Baloch Raji Ajoy Sangar, that's BRAS. Okay, they've claimed attack for 48 attacks. And virtually in all districts of Balochistan, they've carried out attacks. And there's no response. Pakistan has not been able to respond so far. Will they respond? We'll see. These are the places. The thing is, see the number of places where they've attacked. All over. Okay? There's a map. And who has put it out? They have put it out. They've got a fantastic information campaign, public opinion campaign going on. If you see some of their clips which are out, go to BLA site and or the Balochistan Post site and see. They're super. Okay. They are just flooding, and anyone who sees it will say, yeah, this is truth. Okay. These chaps have become very sophisticated in their attacks. Now, to carry out 48 attacks in 24 hours is not a joke. It's not a joke at all. It takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of sophistication. I told you earlier, they're very well trained, very well educated, as a result, very well equipped. How they're getting money is $1 million question, because India is not supporting them. When I have spoken to all of them, they say, sir, आपसे हमें पैसा नहीं चाहिए, training नहीं चाहिए, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I asked that chap, how can I help you? Not only him, I've asked others also. They all say, sir, just put what you have to in your channel and put it from your heart. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm putting it from my heart. This is a fact. Their campaign info is slick. The most important thing in this whole story, the people are with them. Just think, there's a Jafar Express attack, Noshki attack on security forces. Then security forces retaliate by killing 2-3 people somewhere. There's a woman's sit-in. People are lifted 4 days. Then Mahrang Baloch is in jail. 5th day, they come out. These chaps carry out a sophisticated attack all over the countryside. Just see the coordination which is going on. It's not simple. This chap is 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏. Now, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 is probably he was also once upon a time a chief minister, and he's from one of those Sardars, Bengal tribe ka. He was also chief minister of Pakistan. He was also a MNA. At some point of time, he was part of the Pakistan government also. And you ask the guy on the street, he will say Bengal is from the Pakistan side. You ask the Pakistanis, they'll say Bengal is a Baloch who can't be trusted. In a way, I told this yesterday also, he's like that 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗡𝗙 kutta. Not 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗡𝗙, kya 𝗤𝗐𝗂𝗏𝗑𝗙𝗏. But then, he switched sides now. He's very clear. I have listened to him 2-3 places. He's very clear, and he now is this thing. See what he has put out in a tweet. He put out this tweet 4 days back, or 1 week back. He says, there is no area left in Balochistan where the government can claim to be in control. This is what Maulana Fazlur Rahman also said. I showed you that clip. They have lost this war. This story is over. Today, I would like to use this opportunity to address all those, the federal government, political parties, judiciary, establishment, who have brought Balochistan to this path with their oppression and abuses. But this time, it is neither in your control nor yours. It's not in anyone's control. The people are taken control of this moment. That is the depth of feeling which is there. Now, this guy has now conclusively, at least what it appears, has switched sides to the people of Balochistan. What did he say? आज तक हमने जो बोला, हम अवाम मेरे पीछे था, अवाम ने हमें आगे धकेला. आज अवाम किसी और रास्ते में जा रहा है. हमें कोई, I don't have a choice but to be with them. I have to be with my people. He said this 2-3 times. I've heard it. Okay. What next? He's made a long march. This long march is going, from, it actually started today. The long march halfway is done somewhere. He started from a place called 𝗏𝗏 to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So he's carried out, and why is he? He's demanding the release of Mahrang Baloch and Samidin Baloch. And of course, others, all that. And he's very clearly said, and withdrawal of false cases against them by Pakistani military intelligence agencies. He's implicated Pakistan military completely in this story. Now it's public. Okay. Now this is a clip you see of his long march. There's no voice in this, but you'll see, lettering coming up. Yeah, read this. It says Sardar Akhtar Mengal's long march has set off from 𝗏 towards 𝗏𝗏 with other activists. Hundreds of vehicles crawl along the road with thousands making a 400-kilometer journey. They finished about 150 kilometers of this. The protesters have condemned the mistreatment and arrest of Baloch 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏𝗧 committee leaders. Okay, that's Mahrang Baloch and Samidin and other activities who've been arrested. A whole lot of them are arrested, no one knows how many. Okay, Sardar Akhtar Mengal said that the government wants to enforce its authority by oppressing Baloch. He's called for immediate release, saying state should fight armed groups, not oppress unarmed women. Yeah. So all this is there. Now all petrol pumps in that area have been shut down. Mobile networks down. So virtually whatever is coming, I don't know how it's coming, but people are able to put it and they've sent it to me. They said, please show it. So I'm showing it. So I would request all of you who are watching this, please show it to your friends. Okay. Now let's look at the Chinese interests out here, which is very important in the long run as it comes out, because that won't get... We all know China wants to have a base at Gwadar. They already have a base at Djibouti. They already have a base at Karachi. Okay. Now Gwadar is supposed to be China's first overseas theatre command headquarters. And it has to have they intend to have China's second strike capability out here. Now this is in the middle of the Baloch movement today. I've done a complete video on Gwadar. Please go to Gunnershot and just say Gwadar and you'll get that video. I will not spend my time on this because today we are talking about Baloch issue. Okay. Now, the people are so worried now that the Chinese have started deploying security forces in Pakistan. They put their private military contractors. 2 months back, Zhang Yuxia, who's the vice chairman of the CMC, came to Pakistan. He met Asam Munir and they discussed the issue of putting private security contractors in Pakistan. Pakistan Army refused, but there were private security contractors on Gwadar guarding the Gwadar port per se, but not on the mainland. But now the report is that they have started being deployed on the mainland. So this complicates things. Will the Chinese come out and fight these boys? How much we'll know. I do hope a few Chinese get bumped off and then the fat will be really in fire, and it will happen. It's a matter of time. Unless, of course, someone says, no, none of these Chinese chaps are there and they've made a fast exit. As the situation becomes worse, the Chinese might make a fast exit because the Chinese don't have the capacity to handle this. When the Pakistanis don't have a capacity to handle this, how these piggy Chinese will have a capacity to handle this? These pigs won't know what to do. But then, be that as it may, that's the status at this point of time. Now, Pakistan has existential problems, 6 existential problems. Please understand. From the top, it has a political crisis. Till such time, Imran Khan, who believes himself to be a Nelson Mandela, who is in jail, they have a problem. Okay? And this government is all fake government. There's it's not a legitimate government. It's being propped up by the army. Okay. I'll come to the army a little later. There's a problem there. Second, its economy is indebted. That's what that fellow also said. Bahut Baloch. Ek karzon pe chal raha hai, bas. That's it. It's running on empty. Then Pakistan has hostile neighbors. Neither, Afghanistan. These chaps went and said shackles of slavery have been broken. And only for Pakistan to get back into the shackles of slavery. And remember, there's an old saying, if you want to control that Pashtun area, you have to control Kabul. And Kabul will never be in control of Pakistan. So that Pashtun area is out. But I will talk of that later. But the hidden existential crisis is water. Pakistan doesn't have water today. The the Mangla Dam and the Tarbela Dam are at dead water levels. And it's only March. What is dead water level? There's no storage in the dam. Whatever water comes can go downstream for irrigation. Normally a dam is supposed to have water so that if there's no water coming from the top, it's supposed to release. Isme nahi hai pani. It's silted to that level. Right? And already the last watering of the wheat crop has not been done. So you're going to have a crop which is not there. All the fruit orchards and all are going past. And water has come up Indus. The salinity in Indus. The mangroves are getting destroyed. I mean, that is a gone case. Forget about tomorrow, day after, all that. It's already, in a state of absolute water scarcity today. And that absolute water scarcity is going to hit them 3 months from now. There are going to be internal problems in Pakistan for water. I am predicting it today. Why? Because the great Pakistan Army, they built 6 canals from Indus into the Cholistan desert to carry out corporatized farming. Who's the corporate who's doing farming? It's the Pakistan Army. So already Sindh is an up in arms case. How can you take off water when we don't have water? So water is the werewolf of Pakistan. That's why I kept it at the bottom. It's going to eat up Pakistan from underneath. And then, of course, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Today, there has been an attack in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where 3 people have died. Every day in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan is losing 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 people. Every day. Balochistan is what we have seen. Is there a case where Pakistan has not lived with at any one time 1 or 2 problems? No. It's always lived with that. But what's different? What you heard so far? Balochistan. The state in Balochistan is pretty bad. That is why Chinese have come and put their private security contractors. So this is it. What about this great character? There is dissent within the army. There's someone has said Pakistan Army, including colonels and majors, demand COS General Asim Muni's resignation, accusing him of power abuse and undermining democracy. He says one of the most corrupt armies in the world. This is not airy-gairy one guy. There are already hundreds of this. I just picked up one chap. This Mohammed Amin, I don't even know who he is, who's put this tweet out. But there are so many people who put such tweets. So there is internal dissent within Pakistan Army. And if Pakistan Army something happens, thank you. Pakistan, thank you. Then India has to look at something else. But then we'll talk of that a little later. This is Hamid Mir. Those of you who don't know Hamid Mir, he owns GeoTV. And, he is the guy who went and spoke to Osama bin Laden also. Okay, at one point of time. He was the go-between between then American forces and Pakistani forces and Mujahideen and all and Osama bin Laden. Then, when Osama bin Laden was America's blue-eyed boy. Now, what does he say? Very important, interesting. Listen to him.
पिंडी में जो बैठे हुए हैं पॉलिसी मेकर्स, ये चले मेरे साथ, इनको मैं लेके चलता हूँ. ये अटक का पुल क्रॉस करें खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में, पन्नू टीआई खान में, असर के बाद जाकर दिखाएं मुझे किसी सड़क पे. चैलेंज है मेरा, असर के बाद, मगरिब के बाद नहीं, असर के बाद किसी सड़क पे निकल के दिखाएं मुझे. और ये पुलिस के साथ भी नहीं जा सकते. ये जितने भी बड़े बड़े पॉलिसी मेकर्स है ना, अपने आप को बड़े फने खान समझते हैं. ये चले मेरे साथ बलूचिस्तान में, और जो हब से जो खुशदार को सड़क जाती है, वहां पे मुझे ये मगरिब के बाद चल के दिखाएं वहां पे, और किसी पेट्रोल पंप पे खड़े होकर चाय पी के दिखाएं मुझे. और ये जो हमारे बड़े बड़े वुज़रा साहबान है ना, जो कहते हैं पाकिस्तान में सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, और बहुत बड़े बड़े हमारे जो मीडिया के लोग हैं जो आजकल इस हुकूमत की तारीफ में जमीन व आसमान के किलाबे मिलाते हैं, ये जाके दिखाएं ना मुझे इन सब इलाकों में, और वहां पे जाके इसकी तारीफ करके दिखाएं मुझे शहबाज शरीफ साहब की हुकूमत की.
Yeah, so this is what Hamid Mir says, and he says जाके दिखाओ. The fact of the matter is, you know what? Very interesting. Balochistan Army, the Baloch people own the night. Pakistan Army and the Pakistan state doesn't function at night outside their houses, in Balochistan. Okay, now again you will say, yeah, ये General साहब बोल रहा है.
पिंडी में जो बैठ.
Okay. Wait, okay, now this fellow is a MNA, a Baloch MNA. Here what he says, I go to one place to the other and I come back by helicopter. And someone asks him, यार why don't you do that? कहता है यार ये पाकिस्तान है, रात को कोई सी चल सकता है. You hear him and you'll see he's an elected member or the selected member. ये देख.
अभी मैं पता है डर के बारे में भाग के इधर से गया हूँ. कल आज पूरा को मैंने फुलवारी इधर भाग के गया हूँ, झाड़ में वापस आया. सर वो भी अपने दिल लगा. देखो हमेशा बशीर देव का होता है, हमारे एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी का नहीं होता. एफसी की होती है, नेवी की इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है, पुलिस की भी इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है. जिला गश्त हमें ये होता है, बचपन में सुनते थे बस एसी साहब कहाँ गए, जिला गश्त हमेशा बशीर देव के साथ होता है. उससे दरख्वास्त है, हम बलोच है. मैं जब भी अगर मैं इनके हाथे छोड़ो मेहरबानी करके अपने अपने कमांडर भेज दे कि बलोचों की इज्जत जानी. अब जाकर लेडी को किस चीज का सजा दी कि सरफराज साहब की काबीना में और पार्लिमानी सियासत करते. बशीर देव हमें मारते हैं, हम पार्लिमानी सियासत करते हैं. किसी बोलते बंदूक नहीं चाहिए हमारे पास, तो बंदूक नहीं उठाएंगे, हमें गुंजाइश नहीं बंदूक, आप बंदूक उठा भी नहीं सकते जबरदस्ती. सरकार हमें बोलते हैं बशीर देव के खाते में. वो तो मैंने कहा कि जीआईटी मेरे खिलाफ बना दो, उसका टाइमिंग तो हो जाएगा. लेकिन आजकल गवर्नमेंट बशीर देव साहब की है, डॉक्टर नजर साहब की है. हमें उससे दरख्वास्त कभी हम उसके साथ खाते चढ़े तो मुझे झूठे गोली मार दीजिएगा. जैसे मुझे 18 जफरुल्लाह देवी मुझे गोली मारे, इससे बेहतर है कि मैं भी रिस्क करूं, मैं अपने बच्चे को बलोच को गोली मारो, उधर देखो मुझे मारा, सबसे पहले मुझे गोली मार दीजिए, मेरा बंदूक नहीं चाहिए.
सर कितने फीसद इलाके जो है वो इस वक्त हुकूमत की कंट्रोल से बाहर है?
आपके सामने भाई, आपके सामने भाई. अब रात को चलो ना किसी वजीर को बोलो घूमे, मैं खुद घूम नहीं सकता, जहाज में आओ मेरे भाई से. कितने फीसद को क्या फीसद? ये मगरब पे हमला करते हैं, फिर मशरक पे हमला करते हैं, शुमाल में करते हैं, फिर जुनूब पे करते हैं. इतने बड़े बलूचिस्तान में फीसद देखिए ना आधा पाकिस्तान में.
You see what he says? He says इतने बड़े पाकिस्तान में हम कहीं नहीं जा सकते. Okay, right. Now the point is this. You see, in the past 1 week, there's a convergence of the political, the military or the rebel, and the human rights activists, which was not there earlier. There's a convergence. There's a synergy developing. As it is, you heard Hamid Mir saying, "Raat ko chale jao, one chai pi lo." That's the status today. Pakistan Army has to go in great strength to overcome this. What can Pakistan Army do? What Pakistan Army done has so far has gone and they've picked up children, and all that. They're only worsening the situation. Will they carry out attacks against the armed people? They're not able to do. Because they're disappearing in the wind, in the hills. And Pakistan Army is not capable of doing it. They're not giving them a target. If Pakistan Army is given a target, they'll get gunships, and use disproportionate power and make this situation even worse. Okay? So the situation is that today, if you see the sum total of what I have presented to you people, that the political system of within Balochistan, headed by 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗙 has got good following. In fact, he's done some distance. Tomorrow is going to resume that march. They've done so far some feeble attempts at stopping that march. They've not been able to stop. But Pakistan won't bother because he's only going up to Quetta. But by doing this from Wat to Quetta, he's going to integrate the Baloch people. And if Mahrang Baloch continues in jail, and there's a problem. If anything happens to her in a jail, there's a bigger problem. And all this while BLA is doing what it wants. Complete Hindi में अगर बोलो, Pakistan Army नपुंसक हो गया है. That's the word, नपुंसक, the best word to describe them. Right? There's no political outreach because they don't have one. Now, to say, will Balochistan get independence from here is a question mark. I don't know. Till yesterday, I thought they might not get. But if you see this kind of a convergence, might happen. People will say, oh, sparse areas. Saudi Arabia is also a sparse area. There's a kingdom of Saudi Arabia there. Okay? There are so many places which are sparse in population, but they have their own state. Right. Now, We don't know whether Pakistan will break up and how it will break up and what do we do? How do we help the Baloch people? These are all questions up in the air. I'm going to discuss this on Ghana Short next week with some people. Look, what's going to happen if Pakistan goes? What do you do with the nuclear weapons? What do you do with anything? Right? At this point of time, I'm also not sure what's going to happen. So I thought I put all this. I'm sure Sree Iyer ji will have some questions before he, others come into the fray. I'd request all of you, don't do this for me. Don't do this for Sree Iyer. For the sake of the Baloch people, if you have anything for them, send this video to every friend and tell him to waste his 1 hour understanding what's happening. You people keep telling me, sir, Pakistan ke upar kabza hone wala hai. Just think what will happen if Balochistan goes free. Okay? What is happening in Balochistan free mein ho raha hai hamare liye, from an Indian perspective. What do we have to do? Ye to socho. Bahut dur mat sochna. Okay? And send it to everyone. If you like this video, like it. I mean, put that thumb impression both in Ghana Short and in PGurus. And do us a personal favor. If you've so far watched this in Ghana Short, switch to PGurus and watch it. And if you've so far watched it in PGurus, switch to Ghana Short and watch it. So that at least by the algorithm of YouTube, this video will get more views and people will see it. Yeah.
Very, very good idea, sir. Very good idea. That will really help both of us. Look, what is it? At the end of the day, we are human beings first. And look at the inhumanity being expressed. Sir, of all these generals who have ruled Pakistan, I think Musharraf was the worst offender in terms of how he treated the Baloch, isn't it?
Yes. There's no doubt on that. There's no doubt on that. He in fact, I would say everyone. Everyone is in this got the same tar brush, whether it's Musharraf or Musharraf was the one who got 𝗤𝗡𝗙𝗧 killed. He's an 80-year-old man, and mind you, who was 𝗤𝗡𝗙𝗧? This is in 2005. Who was 𝗤𝗡𝗙𝗧? 𝗤𝗡𝗙𝗧 was once the chief minister of Balochistan. 𝗤𝗡𝗙 was once the defense minister of Pakistan. When he felt his things were not good, he said, "I'm taking up arms. I'm taking up arms so that my people are free." He got him killed. There's no political outreach. Incidentally, whatever Balochistan produces from its copper mines and gold mines and gas, right? The Baloch people get 2 to 5%. The balance goes out. 𝗠𝗢𝗏 gas field was one of the biggest gas fields in this part of the world, in the subcontinent, when it came about some 40-50 years back. Balochistan. The 𝗠𝗢𝗏 gas pipe gives gas to Karachi till date, but not to Balochistan. I mean, this is, why wouldn't they feel unhappy? And then you look at 𝗥𝗘𝗙. 𝗥𝗘𝗙 and that entire coast is full of good fish. These Chinese chaps have come and finished their livelihood. Okay. And they want to get nuclear submarines, all that nonsense. So there's a big problem. And we have a big problem to see how we're going to take it forward, whichever way we have to. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. We have a lot of questions now. Let's just go through them and see how quickly. These are combined set of questions from Ghana Short.
No problem. Let's take them one by one. There's no hurry.
Yeah. Let's start. Hari Rao, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Shritik Kothari wants to know, sir, what concerns me is complete obliviousness of Western liberals towards all this. Germany commented on Kejriwal's arrest, but now EU, US, everyone is silent. All who scream for Gaza, mum now.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's a fact. In fact, why forget about this? Yeah, you in the last video of mine yesterday, before which I put out, Balochistan Beyond the Brink, I put out in Ghana Short. You see, I put Mahrang Baloch saying the same thing. These people are all, fake guys. These are all selective human rights issues. Yeah.
Next one, please. Sajid Kumar, thank you so much. No new nation state will come out of Pakistan or Bangla. It is various factions of ISI working for their respective bidders. BLA can't get 1 paisa out of Balochistan. Forget becoming national state.
Yeah, Sajid, thanks for the 200 rupees. If you want, you can take it back, but I think you don't have the right thinking. Let me be very, very frank. just because you're going to pay doesn't mean you come out with some stupid thinking. We shouldn't. You're coming to a very respectable channel called PGurus, and this. Don't come with preconceived ideas that everyone out there is ISI. Okay? Don't make monsters out of people who don't exist. And this is the kind of thinking which, all of us, many of us in India suffer from. Sorry, I'm being so rude, but this is a fact. There are people, there are 12 million, 18 million people or 20 million people out there who are suffering. And that suffering has no religion.
Rajaraman wants to know, sir, is US or deep state behind Baloch?
We don't know. I don't think the deep state was behind Baloch. They might be getting some help. But there's an interesting question because India is not helping them. They're not getting money from anywhere. Where are they getting? Weapons, there are plenty in Afghanistan because the Americans left quite a bit and went off. Right. In my own thinking, it's not in the American interest that Pakistan disintegrates. They'll go to every length to ensure that it doesn't disintegrate. Okay. So where are these people getting money from? Who's doing it? The $1 million question. Like I told you earlier in the show, I said, any help you want, anything I can organize. They said, oh, we don't want money. We want just India to be with us. That's it.
Next one, please. Sunita Rao wants to know, if Pak Army is not in Balochistan and neither police, then what is stopping them from declaring independence?
Look, all these things have a critical mass to happen. See, when the Jafar Express attack happened, it was only a BLA action. Next day, a 𝗏𝗏𝗏 action. Then, things happened. Mahrang Baloch has been put in the can. And Samidin Baloch has been put in the can. And so many people more. And now it has become an international issue. They didn't have political thing. Now Akhtar Mengal is now joined. So this is gathering. It's gathering moss. It's not a rolling stone. Right? It's gathering moss. And it's gathering weight. So there'll come that time when they can declare independence. So far, one part of the story, who wants independence so far? It's only the BLA and this thing, right? So these people, others who want to be within the Ain of Pakistan, Ain is constitution, right? In Urdu, Ain is constitution. They want to be within the Ain of the Pakistan. But one fine day they'll be pushed out. It's a matter of time now. When that happens, everything will happen.
Next one, please. Krishna wants to know, respected sir, what's stopping them building a parliament? Yeah, same thing. Yeah, next one.
Same thing. Hey, what's more? Where will they? Just a minute. Can I have that question back? Let me explain.
Yeah.
Where will they build a parliament for Balochistan in Balochistan? In Quetta. That's a place. That's a capital. No. Now Quetta is also the residence of 12th Corps commander of Pakistan. He's got forged there. 12th Corps, the staff college is there in Quetta. The original staff college of undivided India was there. What is there in Wellington is a breakaway faction. I won't say breakaway, is only part of it which came here. And before the staff college was in Quetta, the school of artillery was there. So it's got a long history. That cantonment is there. So how can you go and build a parliament out there, Krishna? So, obviously many of you don't know what's happening there and you don't know the lie of the land, the geography and the history. I agree with it. That's why I thought I'll go into all these details.
Next one, please. Jeet wants to know, General Ravi Shankar ji, Sree Iyer ji, thank you ever so kindly for the presentations. Gunner shot achieved. Archives have really helped in sifting fact from propaganda. Thanks again. Thank you so much.
You've all been saying this. So happy that you, yeah.
Value Pilgrim wants to know, are you aware that Mahrang Baloch is actually from Brahui speaking Baloch? Her last name is Langu. Brahui is a Dravidian language similar to Tamil. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. There's no doubt about it. I've not gone into the anthropology of this entire story, but I can understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Next one, please. Sam Keating wants to know, sir, I'm justified in being disappointed on how PM and cabinet now want to sort things with China. It seems that all will be back to normal even as the salami slice and trade deficit increases yearly.
Yeah, we'll talk of this day after. During the open house.
Next one, please. Naresh Nilakantan wants to know, do you see the Balochistan province is also similar to France, sharing cross-country migration to Dubai, Oman and UAE? Your views, 𝗟𝗏?
No, I don't think so.
Next one, please. Value Pilgrim again. The 𝗥𝗘𝗡𝗏 Marri Baloch tribes have Maratha sub-tribes. After loss in Panipat to Abdali, some Marathas in Balochistan today, they are called Peshwani. Cultural affiliation?
Yeah, you'll have to go into the anthropology, which I'm not gone into. Really.
I think after the third battle of Panipat, the British gave punishment posting to many Maratha soldiers who were taken as prisoners. They were asked to go and live there, and they actually settled down, married locally, and some of them even have the last name Marathas. Next one, please. Yeah. NRK wants to know, sir, would you agree that Munir has been one of the worst chiefs in Pakistan Army history? Casualties under him might surpass those of Musharraf, Ayub Khan, etc., and they actually fought proper wars.
Yeah, it's very difficult to plumb the depths of the Pak Army chiefs. Each is one, worse than the other. So we'll leave it at that. They're the worst of the lot who have risen to the top. There's a comment, by Ammar Ahsan. He says, I would like that to be put up. He says there are over 70 countries with population densities lower than Balochistan. Yeah, there are over 70 countries with population densities lower than Balochistan. So the population argument doesn't hold. There's this 45 kilometers square. Yeah, and even US is 30. I go with you, Ammar. I have no doubt about what you're saying. It's only the fact that, one has to get over this thing. That's about all. Like I said, this entire problem of whatever is happening, the convergence, if it takes place, they'll overcome the population. If this area cannot go under the control of Pakistan, and the Pakistan Army cannot control this area, it will break. So the populations then won't matter.
Next one, please. Jack in and out of the box wants to know, $1 million question. When will the USA vouch for an independent Balochistan?
When Balochistan is made. Till then, no.
Next one,
there are other issues which have not touched. There is the thing of Iran also. Iran also won't like Balochistan to be made, because the moment that happens, there's that part of Sistan.
Sistan, Balochistan. Correct.
A lot of people are there. And then there's an issue, a lot of Baloch people live in Sindh also. So it's not going to be an easy affair. Okay. It's going to be a difficult affair, whatever happens ahead. I don't see them integrating with Pakistan either. Let me put the flip part of it. The flip is that will the Baloch people integrate with Pakistan? That's not going to happen, because the state of Pakistan has no olive branch to offer to Baloch people. So far, neither Shehbaz Sharif or Hamid Mir has said, here, let's forget about all this, let's start dealing with this politically. They are only dealing with this by killing people and putting people in jail. Who are they putting in jail? Women. They're only worsening the situation. Yeah.
Next one, please. JBJP wants to know, when people compare or talk about Bangladesh and Balochistan together, is it right comparison? Population of Bangladesh is 15.5 crores, but Baloch are 75 lakhs only. Your take, sir.
Yeah, I agree. The population-wise, there's no comparison. Issues-wise, there's no comparison. But each has their own dynamics. Each has its own importance. So, right. The sentiment of the people, there's no change. No difference. That's the point. The sentiment of the people.
And Bangladesh also has the problem of desilting. They haven't really taken care of that. They also will have water problem very soon. Very low-lying areas, most of it. Next one. Saransh Goyal wants to know, sir, actually General Ravi Shankar and I did that program very beginning time when Brahmaputra, right? In Brahmaputra, we talked about this. One of the first, when sea levels rise, one of the first countries to completely get submerged is Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So Saransh Goyal wants to know, sir, we usually have a discussion about low population of Baloch, 6 to 7% of Pakistan. But wouldn't the Punjabis of Pak also down counted that numbers the way it happens in Jammu in India?
No, nothing on that. There's no down counting.
It's also, Saransh, understand this. They are creating a pipeline of natural gas that doesn't stop anywhere in Balochistan. It goes all the way up to Karachi, and only people in Karachi are getting advantage of that. I mean, they have deliberately kept this population completely poor and destitute. 2% is the return on investment for all this stuff for them. That's horrible. Next one. 𝗤𝗘𝗙𝗿𝗏 wants to know, US will prefer an independent Balochistan to fulfill their strategic interests if Punjabi Pakistan does not fulfill their strategic interest.
Well, 𝗤𝗏𝗙, that's a matter of debate. We don't know. But the way I look at it, I don't think USA is interested in Pakistan splitting. As simple as that. Too much is at stake for everyone. But then in matters of men and mice, things take their own course.
Next one, please. Subo443 wants to know, with regime change in Iran and trade relations with Russia, does Trump administration have long-term ambition for access to the Caspian Sea, Astrakhan, Tehran, Bandar Abbas?
No, I don't think Trump administration thinks that far.
See, one thing that we have to remember, viewers, not a single American boot on the ground will be there. America has decided that they will no longer send their armies, which means they have to fight it using missiles and this and that becomes very expensive unless you can get a decisive win. So that also has not, I mean, that also has been taken off the table, because see what's happening in Ukraine. So it's not easy. Next one, please. William Mandeville wants to know, General, what would an end game in Balochistan look like?
The end game, there are two end games. One is it continues like this. That could be an end game in itself, right? The other end game is you have Balochistan. If the moment you have Balochistan, Pakistan will break up. Pakistan will break up into whatever parts it is, and then we'll see the fun. And that is a dangerous end game. And the $1 million question is, how will the nukes go? So that's the thing which we have to think of, right? India has to think a lot. And then what will happen to Chinese interests there? Will they Chinese give up everything and run away, or will they start dealing with each constituent state? Because China has too much at stake there. Okay. And China, in any case, as far as I'm concerned, the Chinese gameplay is over here. Okay. And if you see what's happening in China, which I'm going to talk of tomorrow and day after and on Monday also, if possible, you will see that China is in a deeper hole than Pakistan.
Bigger the rise, harder the fall. Garvesh, what would 3,000 Chinese security personnel from PLA stack up against a determined Baloch? Will they make a deal to develop Baloch once they are independent?
Yeah, the first is 3,000 Chinese security personnel have no chance. They will, they'll get shot up. At least a few chaps will die if they get deployed and they start doing operations. The second part is interesting because at some point of time, China did try to do a deal with the Baloch people. China, that's what it does. It buys off people. It didn't succeed. It didn't succeed because the Pakistanis didn't allow it to succeed.
Wheels within wheels.
Wheels within wheels. Okay. Pakistani general said, "Yaar, inko paisa de diya to mera kya hoga?" So they all that. So now let us see how it goes. So that's a thing on the table. Tomorrow, Chinese might deal with the Baloch people directly. Yeah.
What a session, sir. Thank you so much. And viewers, I hope you got your time's worth. This is money's worth. We are not asking you any money. We are asking you just likes and shares. And this is, I think, a very good compilation of what is happening, because things are moving very rapidly. We know that the Western powers are not looking at Balochistan, but these are our people. Look at the Hindi they are speaking of. It's Urdu, pure Urdu. Not pure Urdu, but very, very understandable Urdu, which all of us can understand.
Secular. You know, who's leading I mean, there
Women.
will be some. No, one is women are leading this thing. Who's the head? Who's living outside India? Dr. Tarachand. He is the head of Baloch American Congress. Okay, he is the one under whose name all tweets and all come out daily. Dr. Tarachand. You can follow him. Right? So they're very secular. They're not radicals like this Pakistanis. I don't call the Baloch people anymore Pakistani. They're not part of Pakistan from my side.
Thank you once again, sir. We'll see you very soon. Namaskar.
Thank you.